Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about how to win the Dungeons and Dragons 2020 Best Dungeon Master Challenge. All right, so this is happening this week. So they're going to start taking entries on June 17th, and they're going to take entries for 3 days for round one of the Dungeons and Dragons official Best Dungeon Master Challenge, right? So this is a contest that you can win. It's very official. It's real WotC, real Dungeons and Dragons, right? And the prize is a bunch of books and some special collectibles that are, some special collectibles from Wizards of the Coast, and you get a Dragon Magazine article. Now, you will definitely. I've already listened to one D&D commentator on this, and I love this guy's coverage, but he's wrong about everything he talks about. But he talks about everything that happens in Dungeons and Dragons. So, I enjoy his content, right? But he said that, this is just some stuff that they have lying around the office. Don't listen to that. First of all, a lot of people are like, what about the money? Where am I going to get paid? Right? First of all, if you don't want the crown for Best Dungeon Master from Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons design team, you can go jump in a lake. Like this ain't for you, right? Like this is for this is for honor, right? And here's the other thing: do not think for 1 second that collectibles given to you by Wizards of the Coast are not going to be valuable, right? Just so you're aware, members of the design team were given Heroes of the Realm 2018 custom Magic cards. There are less than 5 in the world. Some of the collectibles that just are hanging around the office at the Wizards of the Coast at the Wizards of the Coast headquarters are in my opinion could be worth millions today, if not in the future, right? So a very specific, unique collectible from Dungeons and Dragons from Wizards of the Coast could be incredibly valuable, right? And just from its rarity alone, and if they make this a thing going forward, right, the best DM challenge, just it being an official prize from that would give it value, right? So don't worry about there not being any money here. This is going to be worth every bit of every moment you spend. Also, all the ideas. The first entry for this is 1,000 words or less. It cannot be 1,001. It has to be less than 1,000 words. But all your ideas are owned by Wizards of the Coast, and you're also going to hear some very unwise. They're not stupid, but they are definitely foolish. D&D commentators are like, they're going to own all your content, right? Listen, a bad idea given to Dungeons and Dragons is going to take you farther than your very best idea published on your own. I can guarantee you that, right? Like, Candlekeep Mysteries is probably one of the worst. It's probably one of the worst. I would say it is definitely, milk toast adventure. But people know the name, right? Like, there's more fame attached to even Dungeons and Dragons bad products that are attached to your very best products. Like the idea that, Wizards of the Coast will own my idea, dude, man. And salad, dude and dudette. Like, don't worry about it. Trust me. Like the juice and the momentum that you're going to get from attaching this to Wizards of the Coast is well worth losing the idea. Plus, the other thing is, you hear D&D commentators talk about this. You're going to lose your idea to Wizards of the Coast. Good writers don't mind about losing good ideas. They're like, where do they come from? They come from your brain and your heart. You can make 1 million more. It's not a problem, right? Like it's so ridiculous. Anyway, okay. Here's the thing. So here's where we land, right? So basically, you are going to be in a situation where you need to create an entry. Now, first of all, what is the entry? That's kind of interesting, right? What is the entry that you're going to be putting up for this contest? Well, first of all, it doesn't say what it should be, right? And so it's just 1,000 written words. That's all. I read the full the full entry. And by the way, you need to read the full entry. Everything I'm telling you right now is on top of reading the full entry, right? So you got to submit a 1,000 word or less PDF that is by the end of 3 days from the 17th, right? And actually, so you have the 17th, 18th, and 19th, to my knowledge, to get your entry in. And it's got to be 1,000 words or less, and it's got to be PDF. So what should it be? It should be an adventure, right? And by the way, you should do this. If you listen to my channel, you should do this, right? Period, right? So get your butt to your typewriter. It's just 1,000 words long. And what should you actually submit? Well, you should submit an adventure. Duh, right? What do Dungeon Masters do? Dungeon Masters take the PHB, the DMG, and the MM. They add 0 plus X other source books, right? And by the way, you're gonna need Xanathar's Guide to Everything, because all your submission needs to be in line with the DM tools in Xanathar's Guides to Everything. Okay, so you got 4 books you're looking at. You got your Monster Manual, your DMG, and your Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Everything in your 1,000 word or less adventure. By the way, make it $9.90. Just don't play and get caught in. I would actually make it $9.50. Make sure you come under, because if you're 1,001, you're out, right? So don't play and get cutesy and put 1,000 on the button, and then they count wrong. They count different than you, and you never even got in because you did your count wrong, or they did their count wrong. Come in at $9.50. Okay, so be safe. All right. So where do you go from there? So first of all, you're going to create an adventure, and the reason why is Dungeon Masters create adventures, right? That's what we do. We take the DMG, the PHB, the MM, 0 plus X other source books, official D&D 5th source books, and we make playable adventures for our crew, right? So you want to think, right? Sit down for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and think with a white piece of paper and get your best ideas down, right? And what you want is you just want a good kernel for an adventure, right? And then you're going to capture that kernel, and even if you don't have a good idea, put something on paper and write your adventure, right? Take your shot, right? A lot of people take themselves out of running by not taking a shot. Take your shot, right? Even if you don't feel you have the best idea, right? Because one of the ways you can win is just other people fall, right? That is a definite thing. If you just fall, I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you, if you enter this contest, you will almost certainly defeat people who are much, much better writers than you, but have no common sense, right? There's going to be people, including maps and doing all kinds of nonsense, including things that were not in the rules. And I definitely think there's also going to be a lot of people take it right to 1,000 words and get nixed just by the word thing, or submit as a Word document and not as a PDF. Blah 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 blah. Right? So you're going to be a lot of people just because they can't follow the rules, right? So make sure you take your shot, right? So get your 1,000 words together, get your best kernel of your idea, write it down in a single paragraph, and then use your idea, summarize your adventure in one paragraph, and then add as much detail as you can to fill out the 900, and then submit on the 18th at the latest. Don't submit on the last day, okay? So I really think your biggest best thing to do to win this is read the instructions, follow the instructions, finish your thing, and submit. All right, that's how you win. You take your shot. You follow the rules and you take your shot. Now, what are some good ideas, right? So basically, how do you get to your best ideas? Well, think back, right? Anything that you've run for your table that your players were responsive to or that you were proud of, those are excellent places to start, right? By the way, this can't be anything that was previously published. That's in the rules already as well, all right? So this has got to be an original idea, right? And I really think you need to just sit down with that white piece of paper and even, and then if you just use one of your old adventures that you ran for your group that was never published, that's going to be fine, but change a little bit of the names so that even the few players who played in it, won't be able to say, oh, that's it exactly, because one or two elements are changed, right? The other thing is, whatever you make needs to fit into Dungeons and Dragons lore, okay? So basically, don't mention Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms. I wouldn't use any named characters, right? But you can absolutely, and you should absolutely use archetypes, right? So you should absolutely use like fight. Have every single one of the core four. Have a cleric in there. Have a fighter in there. Have a rogue in there. Have a wizard in there, right? And then just change them up. One can be a bad guy. One could be a good guy. One could be a victim. Whatever's going to create drama in your story, right? And the other thing is every single thing that you create and write should logically fit in Forgotten Realms. It shouldn't look alien or really. It should logically fit within Forgotten Realms, because it does say that if you click to existing lore, it will help your submission, right? So that's it. That's my advice for winning the Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master 2021. The Dungeon Master 2021 challenge. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you think? First of all, are you going to enter? Right? If you're not going to enter, I would love to hear that. Right? If you are going to enter, tell me about your journey. Right? Tell me about your starting thoughts. Love to hear all of your experience about this. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.